Have you struggled to scale your ads? It's a more common problem than you think. Let me show you how the pros do it. Hi, I'm Morgan, a digital marketing professional at Life Marketing. A lot of my clients are starting ads for the first time, but an almost equal number of small business owners reach out to me to help them scale their ads. Tell me if this sounds familiar to you. You spent hours researching how to set up ads for your business. Hey, maybe that's how you found us. Make sure you subscribe now so that you don't lose us in this internet wilderness. You may never find us again. Okay, let's say that you spent hours researching. Now you've spent a few more hours setting up your ads. You let them run for a while. Maybe you saw some decent results. You repeated the process and maybe things haven't gotten worse, but they certainly haven't gotten any better. You hit a plateau and you want to see more results, but you can't figure out what to do. I've got some pro tips and ideas for you to try in today's video. But if you're interested in learning more about running ads on social media, check out our new courses. Before we get started, let's talk about the different types of scaling. Now you can use both of these methods, you can switch between the two, or you can just use one. Each business is different and what works for you may not work for someone else. You may also have to try a few methods before you find something that really works for you. One option is vertical scaling. This is practiced by running a number of small ads targeting different audiences with a budget spread between them. Your strategy will include building out a lot of audiences, resting those audiences, and you would scale these ads by increasing your daily budgets. $20 a day is usually a good place to start. Then there's horizontal scaling. This strategy works by using fewer audiences and larger budgets. This method doesn't work for every ad account and it needs to be watched carefully. Oftentimes, audiences have a threshold where an increase in budget only increases your cost per result. If you're primarily doing vertical scaling and things aren't working, try a horizontal scaling method and vice versa. Let's look at a few different tactics that you can use to help scale your ads either vertically or horizontally. Let us know if you have questions about the process in the comments. First thing you can do is try campaign budget optimization. This may be something that you've seen while setting up your own ads, or this may be new information for you. Either way, campaign budget optimization can make all the difference for underperforming ads. When you toggle this option on, you'll set a budget and choose a campaign bid strategy. This option lets Facebook do a lot of the hard work for you. It's not the best option if you are in the phase of testing lots of audiences, or if you're running very specific campaigns. You could also try to use automated rules to increase your budget. It seems logical that doubling your budget will double your results, right? Well, not always. Sometimes increasing your budget can increase your cost per result and decrease your performance. Sometimes this is just a blip of a day or two and your account rebounds. But also, sometimes it's permanent. You can get around this by setting automated rules to increase your budget at an incremental rate every few days. You can set a spend cap too so that your ad doesn't run away with your wallet. This can help you scale your ads without babysitting them. Try automated rules for other things too, like duplicating your best performing ad sets or automatically shutting off low performers. If you want a more in-depth video on the topic of automated rules, leave robot rules in the comments. I know machine learning and robots are different, but I had to go with alliteration here, so give me a break. The next thing that you can do is test budgets for optimal cost per result. One of the annoying and exciting, thrilling, honestly, things about running ads is that each ad campaign is different. There are rules and there are best practices that we follow, and there are days when Facebook wakes up and chooses violence. To make sure that you're spending the right amount of money on your campaigns to keep them in that sweet spot for cost per result, you'll need to test the budget. You'll want to do this methodically, as you would with anything that you're doing in advertising. So I suggest starting with a $20 a day budget and increasing by $20 for your next test. You'll do that 3 or 4 times and compare results to see where your performance starts to decline. Then you'll be able to make a decision about what the best daily budget is for your campaigns. Are you liking what you see so far? Subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss out on any of our super helpful small business digital marketing videos. The next thing you can do is target a broad audience. You may think that being super specific with your audience would be a good thing, but sometimes audiences can be too specific, too small, or just wrong for your business. You can utilize Facebook's built-in A/B testing to test broad audiences and let Facebook find the best people for you. Introduce a broader audience. I would go for between 1 and 3 million people during your ad setup. I would recommend testing creatives, making your variable things like videos, graphics, and copy. You can start testing larger audiences even if you have a small budget, so don't let that stop you. You'll just do incremental testing as you go.
Hey, we just helped a small business make over $1.5 million through Facebook advertising. And after managing millions of dollars in ad spend for thousands of different small businesses, we have decided to give away everything we learned to you in a special program. If you want to learn the blueprint to success, the best practices from some of the fastest growing companies in the world, and all of the different tools you will need, then sign up for our social ads training program today.
You can also introduce lookalike audiences to scale your ads. Using lookalike audiences can decrease your cost per result and increase performance. I like to start using lookalike audiences as soon as I've built a valuable source audience, like from purchases from your pixel activity. You can learn more about lookalike audiences in detail in this video, displayed on screen. I want you to remember that you should not fix what isn't broken, but you should also please keep testing. When you run campaigns and do testing, you'll have clear winners and losers. Here's what I like to do with the winners. I like to figure out what about the ad was a win, if I can. This is where A/B testing variables carefully comes into play and not adding too many at once. I also like to keep the best performing ads running so that I can keep bringing in those results for the campaign. Every time you start and stop an ad, it has to go through another learning phase, which costs a little bit of money. I like to limit this learning phase when possible. I also like to start a new A/B test with the winner of the previous A/B test, if necessary. Here's what I like to do with the losers. I like to figure out what about this made it less desirable. Again, this is where measuring your A/B testing variables is very important. Sometimes I will run the ad again if I've identified ways that I can improve it or if I'm testing other audiences. Some ads will do well with some audiences and very poorly with others. You're going to need to play around with budget here. And you will have some maddening dips in performance for no apparent reason. This process of advertising is trial and error, and unfortunately, it does cost money and time along the way. You're going to introduce a number of audiences that just won't work. You're going to test ads that don't work very well. It may be frustrating, but just know that you need all of that data to make good decisions. So even a failed campaign is not a failed campaign. Scaling your ads may be the most difficult part of the advertising process, and it's not always straightforward. But I hope this video helped you figure out some options for scaling your campaigns. If you want to see a more detailed video on anything that I've talked about today, let us know in the comments. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I'll see you soon.